Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of Saturn. Transiting Saturn is in opposition to natal Uranus. How transiting Saturn behaves in opposition to natal Uranus depends on the position of natal Uranus. This transit may be more prominent in your life if you already have planets in aspect to your natal Uranus. But the basics are as follows. Key points for this period are frustration, closure, and rebellion. There is simply no way to keep your life unchanged. The transit of Saturn opposite Uranus creates significant tension because something is blocking your uniqueness and self-expression. So, the period is challenging and stressful, because your self-expression is hindered by daily routines and limitations of your existence. This leads to the need to get out of the routine, to no longer live according to the routine, as well as to express yourself as freely as possible. This tension due to the obstacles brought by the authorities, roles, regulations, and laws will block your desires and intentions at this moment. You will then feel rebellious, restless, and extremely frustrated in areas of your life that have been safe until now. The rigid structures and routines you have been content with until now will no longer benefit your development, and your public presentation and relationships, which are usually structured, will be tested and challenged. Any circumstances and responsibilities that you tolerated or previously enjoyed will now seem limiting and overwhelming. Your boss or supervisor will be domineering. The project you planned will be paralyzed by government regulations, and proposals submitted to companies and business entities will be rejected, all because your ideas were considered eccentric, impractical and insufficiently documented. But the transit itself will give you a desire for excitement and novelty, and you will be tempted to get rid of everything that is holding you back. That's good news if you've been pushing for change. But you must also understand that you will not be able to predict or control all dimensions of these changes. Therefore, it is definitely best not to follow this instinct to break away, but to carefully review your life. During Saturn transit in opposition to natal Uranus, you have the potential to show your originality and unique identity in a very limited way. If so, you will feel exactly like the crisis that is happening around you, because your support is giving way. Depending on where this game takes place, your home, work, hobbies, friends, and family, all of which have brought a sense of order and predictability, are now suffocating and affecting your physical health. These unexpected situations test your ability to adapt and change. To recognize that the intensity of feeling is simply caused by changes within you that have suddenly appeared. All these obstacles will seem illogical to you, causing you to feel rebellious. You can try to break the laws that frame you, but that will create even greater difficulties for you. So try to use a more tactical and constructive approach and look for ways to do what you want without challenging and antagonizing the opposition. Control how you react. Change your own routines and methods yourself, instead of clinging to the proven ways you've dealt with change. Stay open to new views and experiences so you don't stagnate and become stubborn and too old-fashioned. The source of frustration needs to be addressed now to avoid loss of control and unexpected, unwanted outcomes. The best course of action is to define the area that is causing the problems and then start making adjustments to those areas. During Saturn transit opposite natal Uranus, people are more interested in how their life could have worked, rather than how it currently works. When Uranus is more strongly emphasized in the natal chart, most will listen to their damaged egos and bad behavior. Those who tend to ignore their innermost emotions will now feel eccentric and out of step, also reacting with hostility and anger to the frustrations they encounter. But hostility will not help, and opposing others only serves to widen the gap and break their friendly ties. Don't try to ignore things or remain passive, confront others when necessary and put conflicting points on the table, but do so in an intelligent manner. This transit is not welcome if you want to keep things as they are. So, this very rare transit that happens every 30 years. Most of us experience it 2 to 3 times in our life. It is very heavy and can evoke the strongest energies that anyone will experience. From a global point of view, this influence is considered a revolution of simple minds, an uprising of people against governments, but one after which the problems will not go away. The problems will return again, later, only stronger than usual. What people must ask is how such a rebellion can be a strange circumstance in people's lives. Everyone should also think about where they yearn for freedom and how they can be in the middle to fix the differences that exist between them and others. This is usually very difficult, almost impossible. The more they live among others, the less frustrated and rebellious they will feel. Moderation is the key when it comes to having no more interruptions, so the sooner the value of time is recognized, the more people can become focused during Saturn's transit in opposition to natal Uranus.